Stampers and crafters. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to make this little basket out of Stampin' Up! Fabric. Now Stampin' Up! No longer sells fabric, they've discontinued it. However, you can go on the Stampin' Up! Website and look at clearance, and they have some really good buys on their fabric. This is a coordinating fabric here, and then the buttons also coordinate with it. But I've used some of that fabric. I had some that I wanted to use up, and I created this, or sewed up this little basket. I did not create it. I found it on Pinterest under seasidestitches.blogspot. So she's the one that I cased it from. But and she has some good pictures on her blog spot. But I wanted to do a video on it. So here's a cute little basket that you can make for your craft room and use up that fabric that you have. It's very simple. I started with a 9x9 square of fabric. Pretty easy. 2 pieces of fabric, 9x9. Okay, right sides together. And then a piece of batting that's 9x9. So I sewed around it. 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then I left an opening to turn it. So sew around it with 1/4 inch seam allowance and leave an opening to turn it. So once I've gotten it all sewn up, I left my opening here to turn it. I turned it right side out, and then I take this chopstick, which works wonderful to push out my corners, so I get a nice finish to my corners. I've pressed it, and it's ready to go to make my basket. So once I've done that, then I take it and I stitch around the edge about 1/4 inch. So just stitch around the edge. That closes up my opening, so you don't have to worry about closing it up. And then just stitch around the edge 1/4 inch. After that, I do some quilting on it. This just gives it a little bit of dimension. And you notice on this basket, here's the stitching that I've done, the quilting, just to kind of give it a little bit of interest. You know, it's very simple to do. I just started here at the corner and then just went around. It's kind of like a maze. Just keep going around. You can do it. This is about 5/8 of an inch in, and then just keep it going 5/8 as you go around, and then I just finished in the middle. You can do it more narrow if you want to, or you can also do it wider, just whichever you prefer. Once I've done that, take it, I fold it in half, and I pin it with my little wonder clip here. And I've measured out 1 3/4 inch here, marked it, and measured out 1 3/4 inch here. So I have my 2 spots right here. Same thing on this side. I clip it with my wonder clip to keep it in half, 1 3/4 inch, 1 3/4 inch. So those 2 spots right there. And this is what it looks like. I've sewn the 1 3/4 inch, 1 3/4 inch. Then I'm going to fold it again in half, clip it with my wonder clip, and mark it 1 3/4 inch, 1 3/4 inch. Turn it over here, clip it with my wonder clip, and I've marked it 1 3/4 inch and 1 3/4 inch. So I'm going to sew those 2 spots right there. Once I've done that, then I have something that looks like this. Kind of funny looking. Got my stitching. Okay, and then I've got these little tabs in here. So what I want to do is take my iron, and no, my iron is not on. I'm going to take my iron and I'm going to reach in there with the point of my iron and press those tabs down. Turn it over, reach in here with my iron and press those tabs down. Because that gives me a nice finished look. And then like this. Gives me a nice finished look like this. So those tabs have been pressed down. And then just take some needle and thread. It's very simple. And just tack it down. You see my little tack mark there? Tack mark. I've got another one here that's a different color that might show you just a little better. This is the right side, the wrong side out, and I just tack down those little tabs on both sides. So you do 4 little tack places. Once that's done, then I take my wonder clips and fold over those pieces that are sticking up. It's creating my basket. Okay, so I have it like this. This is back right side out. And each one of those little tabs that I folded over, I put a button. Some of them I put a grommet and then just tacked it down to give the appearance, but this is what you end up with, like this. Tack it down and then put a button or grommet to just give it a little bit of color. Here's one that I've done. Tacked it down and then sewn on 4 buttons. And then here's another one. Let me turn it right side out for you. And I've tacked it down and then sewn on the coordinating buttons. Stampin' Up! is notorious for everything coordinating. So I've got the real red buttons with the real red fabric and tacked it down. So that creates the little basket that you see here. Now this one, I'll put my ink or my re-inkers in. They stand up there pretty good in it. And just leave it sit on my counter. That's kind of a cute use for that one. This one, I throw my washi tape in. I love washi tape. I love it. I may have to make me a couple more baskets. Do that. And then that just sits on my counter like that. So I have easy access to my washi tape. Now, this one that I made, demonstrated today, is 9 by 9. But I've also made used a 12 by 12 square. And it makes the basket a little bigger. I thought this size was just about right. I made an 8 by 8 square. I used an 8 by 8 square, and it was a little too small for me. So the 9 by 9 is pretty good. You could do a 10 by 10 square. You know, just kind of practice a little bit and see which size works best for you. But I've probably made about 15 of these for my Stampin' Up! Friends. So I hope this helps you. I hope it's something that you can use. Use up that fabric. So thanks for joining me today. I will post my website and my email if you have any questions. So thank you so much for watching.